Hello and welcome to this CS animation video over Python classes. There are two vocabulary terms that are essential for this lesson: a class and an object. A class is a template or instance of an object and defines the object's attributes. An object can be just about any entity or thing. For the purposes of an example, we will treat a car as an object. Now there are many different types of cars, but all cars have an ID like a license plate, color, make, gas left, and whether or not a past accident has occurred. There are more attributes, but we will just use these 5. We can have many different cars, but they all have these 4 attributes. To define this class, we will first create the class by typing class car. When we create the object, we will assign it to a variable like so. Here the thing being assigned is the name of the class. Then the attributes will be passed in as parameters. We can replace the parameter names with the actual values. Now, we will have a function called init that initializes the object. It simply takes in the parameters you passed in and expands the scope to the whole class by assigning them to self.the variable name. This way you can access these variables all throughout the class in other functions. Now, to access these variables, it differs inside and outside the class. If you were to access variables from outside the class like in the main function, then you would call the object's variable name .the attribute you want. First, we initialize the object which implicitly uses the init function. Then we call the object's attribute. If you want the car's ID, you do mycar.id, and you get the output. Similarly, if you want color, you do mycar.color. If you had a function called getGas that returns the self.gas variable, then you would follow a similar pattern and do mycar.getGas, which would print the gas. Inside the class is different. There are functions inside the class that are either accessor or mutator. Accessor functions simply retrieve a value and return it. This is what our getGas function is. Here the value is being accessed without being modified. This means there are 2 ways to access the gas. You can do self.gas or mycar.getGas. The mutators are the opposite and change a value. If I wanted to drive the car, I would want to decrease the gas. Let's say every time drive is called, the gas decreases by 1. Then I could have had a line that decreases the variable of the gas. However, if you want to access class variables or class functions from within a class, you must use self.variable name, because that is the variable that is defined for the scope of the whole class. I can also expand upon this function by providing checks to see if gas is there. For example, if the gas is 0, then print that the user is out of gas and can't drive. You can get creative with the functionality. If I have a main function like this, then mycar.drive is called 7 times when the gas is 6. The gas value is printed out after each call to the drive function. The first print would result in 5. The subsequent prints would print out 1 less than the previous. Once the gas hits 0, the drive function will print out of gas, and then the print statement will print the value of the gas, which would print 0. Now, let's say I want to access another class from within the original class. We'll have a function called crash where the parameter sent is another car object. For this function, we'll change the hasAccident variable to true because both cars had an accident. We can set our car by doing self.hasAccident to true. Now we can access the other car's attributes by doing other.hasAccident and set it to true. This is how you would deal with the interaction between 2 objects. The last part in dealing with classes would be to include a string function. This is completely optional but can become very handy when debugging. The string function basically just returns a string with all the attributes. You can format this function as you wish. This way, when you print the object or the object string function, you can see what the values of the attributes are with ease. I have provided the code for the car class in the description. If you are interested in another example of a class, I have also included the code for a person class in the description below. Hopefully this helped, and if you want more content like this, please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications.